Tabletop boobles. Don't pop it. Good job. Oh, it popped.
She didn't
Oh well.
pop.
Look at this impressive bubble. You can get a big one? Get the big one.
I'm so far. Oh,
Oh, it popped.
that I was so far away from it.
I know.
Guys, I was on my turn in the middle of the night.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good, B. Ooh. Oh, how big is he gonna get? We got another one. We got two. What is good, everybody? So, day after Easy Mill virtual concert. How's everybody feeling? Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. We had an amazing response. Something I wasn't even fathoming, to be quite honest, because I was like, it's just gonna be me, Tori, our friend Wordsmith Cliff, checking out the action, and if we got maybe even 10 people to hang out with us and just talk to us while we were watching the show, it would have been totally cool. But we ended up having, at one point, I think 165 people at the same time. I think that happened right after Easy got done performing. Would kind of fluctuate around between like 100 and something like that. So I'm speechless. So guys, thank you guys so much for the support. Appreciate it. If you haven't and you're watching this, please sub to the channel if you have a minute. We're on the road to 1K subs. We're almost there. So thank you guys again so much. And yeah, to me, the concert was awesome. I was just so happy to see Easy perform along with Raining Sorrow and H-Bomb. A few of the acts I really liked a lot. Lady Masta I really liked. Dimsta and Blade were really cool. Drexler I also liked as well. There really wasn't anybody I didn't like, to be honest. So I thought the vibe was really nice. Got to hear a lot of good things. Wordsmith Cliff actually had never even heard anything but Panalo from Easy Mill. So look to see Wordsmith Cliff in a couple of videos. He is excited to be there. And don't forget Pinoy's support. Pinoy's at Fire Golf. Check him out. So, reason for this vlog, I kind of feel like sharing a little bit of the dinner plan for today. We are doing peanut butter bacon dogs. If you don't know what that means, that is a hot dog with peanut butter and bacon on top. But we dress it up with a special type of, like, not necessarily a Thai style peanut butter sauce, but we also put caramelized onions. We're going to serve it with some homemade French fries with my special essence sauce. Spice, not sauce, spice. And then we're going to have probably some type of vegetable. So I'm going to take you along for the ride. Hope everyone's doing well. See you in a little bit. And I missed the camera. So, first thing we need to do in terms of getting everything together is to chop some onions. So we got some yellow onions here, a very sharp knife. We have some potatoes as well to make the fries. So here we go. And screaming children, of course. Today's hot dog choice is the Nathan's bun length skinless beef frank. High quality. We like them. We were on a Hebrew National kick for a minute, but you know, to me, I know what a good quality hot dog tastes like, and Nathan's is always it. So that's what we're doing with this one. So I took a little break there because onions always get me. So I present to you my crying face, my vulnerable face for your meme pleasure for the next 3 seconds. Okay. And we're done. So now, we cut the onions. Now it's time to do the potatoes because we're doing the fries. I would say that I'm going to do like an ASMR type of thing while I chop these up, but I got kids, so that's not happening. They've already come here screaming a couple times, so enjoy the rest of the presentation.
She goes to work. She works with me.
All the juice starch. Get them fairly dry. Which is ironic because I'm about to put oil. Generally, you just kind of want a little bit so you can just kind of cover everything. And then we're going to put this in an oven, hot oven. Mine's at 425. You can put yours at 450 if you like, but these are going to go for about 25 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes or so. What I want to do is I want to kind of get them a little bit, you obviously want them to get soft. And then we'll put on the seasoning, and I'll show you a little more about the seasoning in just a little bit. So, the key to this is in the seasoning, because who doesn't love good seasoning, right? So the magic is inside of here. Get that. So this is my special seasoning. I call it my essence. You know, just like Emerald has his essence. But I'm not gonna yell BAM or anything like that. But basically what this is fairly equal parts of onion powder, garlic powder, and what else? Smoked paprika. So if you can find smoked paprika, that is the stuff. And basically, because I don't want it to burn while it's in the oven, I'm actually going to let these cook for 25 minutes, and then we will take it out, and then we will season with salt. And the seasoning won't be flipping over. Because the only thing better than a hot fry is a seasoned fry. Am I right? So really the most important part about doing the caramelized onions is that you just got to go low and slow. So we're going to do a tablespoon of butter here in the pan. Just going to let that lay down, swim around for a little bit while that gets warm. And we want to go medium low. So we'll get this guy started, and then we'll pop in the onions. All right, so now it starts to melt a little bit. We're going to go ahead and pop these onions in. These are 2 very large onions that I have just sliced. And we're going to stir these around, and we'll just let them breathe for a long time, like in excess of 20 minutes. may look like a lot, but this is going to shrink down quite a bit. And you'll probably wonder, why didn't I do 3 onions? But yeah, so feel free to crowd the pan as much as possible. It's going to shrink and caramelize and get all this goodness in about 30-35 minutes. So the key is low and slow. You don't want to rush this. I promise you.
I know, babe.
Okay, so next up is the peanut butter sauce. So normally how I make my peanut butter sauce is equal parts peanut butter and water, and then I add seasonings. So in this case, it'll be a little bit of, we're doing kind of Thai inspired, so we're gonna go soy sauce, a little bit of lime, and then we're gonna do onion powder and garlic powder. So just pretty basic. So normally I would just use Jif, but today we've got the peanut butter powder. So if you can get that, particularly when I did low carb, I did a lot of this, particularly when I would eat a lot. And I normally would eat literally just peanut butter and sugar-free jelly in a bowl for a snack. It's good stuff. So I'm going to be adding to that some onion powder and granulated garlic, along with, I guess, a little bit of soy sauce and a little bit of lime. So, and we'll probably sweeten it depending on how it's going. So here we go. So for this measurement, I'm going to do about a half cup. And then normally you would follow the instructions on how much water that would be. Essentially, you just want to put a little bit of water just so it kind of gets that texture. And then we're going to bolster it with a little bit of regular peanut butter. In this case, we have natural Jif, and then we'll add the rest of our stuff. So let's check on our onions. So our onions have been going for, I don't know, about almost 15 minutes now, maybe. So they're looking good. You just want to give it a nice stir. Get it going around. So basically, you want these to just keep cooking down. My heat right now is on medium low, so I'm actually going to turn it up a little bit closer to medium. I don't want it to overcook, obviously. I don't want them to get crispy and burnt, but I do want them to get a little bit more color. So you can see that we definitely need to flip these. So you can see they're in various states of cook. Yeah, this is about halfway through, so basically we now want to put the seasoning and let it go back in for a while. And then we're gonna salt them again when they come out, because it's always good to have some salty fries. So it's a little mushy. It is what it is. yeah, so now wash everything up, put it in the oven. So now you've seen how we make the onions, now you've seen how we make the peanut butter sauce, and how we're making the fries. So right now, all we have to do is pretty much just wait, and yeah, I always do the hot dog last because it's just a hot dog. You just have to put it in a pan and either boil it or fry it up, maybe even grill it. It's really up to you how you want to do your hot dog. We're going to do ours pan fried, and what we like to do is we get the dogs nice and hot, and then we actually put a little bit of the sauce in there along with some of the caramelized onions once they're ready to go. And we just kind of spin it around, kind of get it hot to go before it gets into the bun. So fries are back into the oven. They're going to be in there for another 20 to 25 minutes, and then we'll see what happens next. See you then. So as you can see, the pan, we're using a ceramic pan here. It's kind of started to caramelize on bottom just a little bit. These are yellow onions. Nothing special. We're not using any Vidalia sweet onions here. So really just trying to keep everything level. I've actually turned the heat back down to medium-low so that these things can just sweat. And basically, you have a couple choices at this point. You can continue to make them look this way, but if you want to speed up the process, you can actually add a little bit of sugar. That helps out. Or, one thing we've always done is either soy sauce or Worcestershire sauce to kind of get into that color that we want. Generally, it's just soy sauce, because the salt always helps. In terms of also drying out more of that moisture, getting everything out nice and sweet. As you can see, it's definitely getting a little bit more stringy. It's definitely going to get a little bit more noodly, so it's going to be perfect when we put it on top of our bacon peanut butter bacon dog. So, ooh, speaking of that, I have to fry some bacon. Bacon. What can we say about bacon? Bacon's delicious. Some people I know don't like bacon because they feel like it tastes like the smell of Band-Aids. But for me, we are an all bacon house. So when I do bacon, I prefer to bake it. Because, you know, bacon, right? No. Anyway, some people like to fry. I'll fry if I'm in a hurry, but if I want the right bacon, it's going to be baked. About 12 minutes at 400 degrees. We're actually going to put this in the pan with the French fries, so it's actually going to probably take about the same amount of time. We'll see. Now, there's a debate. I don't know how I feel about this debate, and the debate is that when it comes to bacon, what do you put on top of your bacon? Syrup or Nutella? Let that sit there. If you don't have Nutella, it's a hazelnut chocolate spread found in a variety of different brands across the world, I'm sure. I personally have never tried to put Nutella on my bacon. I don't know how I feel about that. How do you feel about that? And buy some Fire Golf hats while you're at it. Update on the fries. I went ahead and pulled them out. We're going to do just a couple of quick stirs just to see how they look. They're getting nice and crunchy. Still a little mushy on the bottom, but now we're just gonna flip these over, kind of get them reacquainted. Hopefully get nice and crispy. They're gonna go back in for another 10 minutes or so. You probably want to monitor and make sure that it looks good. On your end, you don't want any burnt seasoning or anything like that. So, two things I want to talk about. One, I went ahead and transferred the peanut butter sauce to this saucepan. And number two, one thing I like to do is I like to keep a lid on the caramelized onions. Ooh, facial for you. I like to keep a lid on there to help sweat it out a little bit better. As you can see, it's getting nice and caramel. Nice and brown. All the sugars are definitely coming out. I chose not to put anything in here, but probably could. If I had a little bit of sugar or something like that, possibly would help out with that. So, yeah, I'm just going to flip these over, just kind of let it go. And yeah, this should be the last thing that's ready to go, for sure. Because that's kind of how this works. You definitely want the onions to be the nice supplement. You want them to be nice, sweet, nice, and just delicious. So yeah, definitely trying these cooking things. We love to cook a lot. One thing we've found that when we went out to restaurants, especially since the pandemic hit, is that a lot of times we go out to dinner and you know we're a family of a lot, 6, and oftentimes it's just so expensive, and the food you get we can just make better at home, and that's not a diss to any restaurants or anything around us, because we definitely want to support our local businesses, and we have definitely tried to do so. But ultimately, I think we make better food at home. We actually have done a couple different clean eating programs. We did just the regular clean eating diet. We did Whole30, paleo for a minute, and yeah, so we definitely enjoy just that scratch made food, making sure everything you eat is nice and healthy. You can control the salt and everything that comes in it. So yeah, let me know if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, because I definitely want to cook and prepare some more food. So on to the next step. So the bacon's out of the oven. So one thing I like to do is just kind of, when you bake bacon, you don't get that real super crispy kind of look like you do when you normally put it in a frying pan. So just making sure that it's nice and flat, flipping it, you know, probably about 8 minutes through, which it's been a little bit longer than that. So then we'll just put this back in there. We're gonna let it cook, bake for a little longer, probably about 4 minutes or so at this point, because we don't want to overdo it. But definitely one thing to do is to monitor your bacon, make sure that it looks good to the type of consistency and texture that you like. Personally, I'm a chewy bacon kind of guy. My wife and my kids are crispy bacon eaters. So we have the hot dogs in the pan now. Still have the onions still caramelizing on their way. Got the peanut butter sauce back there heating up. Get it to a nice warm temperature so it hugs the dog nicely. Checking on our onions, they look fantastic. They're nice and hot and smoking, and they're in that beautiful color. Sometimes your caramelized onions can be a real dark color. That's generally what happens if you add sugar, soy sauce, stuff like that. You can see the bacon's out now. Kind of kept them a little longer, but people here like not spicy, crispy bacon. Like real crispy, and the texture on baked bacon is just tremendous. I highly recommend if you have the time. I like to use parchment paper here, as you can see. It helps kind of keep everything in the pool in terms of just... Fries are out. They look fantastic. They're gonna be nice and crispy, and hopefully everyone's gonna love them. What we like to do is like to get a big dollop of the peanut butter sauce. Put it in here with the dogs. Now, a little bit of these caramelized onions. Pop them in there as well. Now, we just mix it. And now it's time to assemble. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 2 pieces of bacon. 1, 2. I'm going to take one of these delicious dogs that have been simmering in the peanut sauce and the onions. Plop it down in there. 3, we like to put a little bit more of these caramelized onions on top. You heard. Alright, let me get that in frame. And then for anybody who wants, we do like to put a little bit more of the peanut butter sauce on top. Just kind of drizzle that on. So, there you have that. Alright, so we got ourselves our hot dog, our fries, and then we always like to include a green with dinner. Something that we like to do just for that nutritional piece, even though this is a peanut butter bacon hot dog with caramelized onions and some really tasty fries. So what you want to know. Is it good? So let's find out. So here's my plate. I kind of made it ugly because I wanted ketchup, because I like ketchup. Let's start with the fries. Fries, very crispy. Might be a little more salt. It was good. We'll go to the dog. Big fan. I won't say that I did not come up with this recipe. So I got it from there's a hot dog restaurant by my work. Like, they only do hot dogs, and they happen to have this. But what they did was they only had one piece of bacon. It was like kind of stale, a small dog, and then just a squirt of peanut butter. And then so I tried. I'm like, wow, this is actually really good. Like, it's actually like almost like, and it was just basic peanut butter too, right? So I told my wife about it, and then we decided to kind of get in the lab and try and figure out a good way to make this work. And this was kind of the result. Mm-hmm. 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 The onions are perfect. I love baked bacon. So yeah, this is good. I know you don't want to watch meat. You really don't want to watch meat. But I do love me a good mukbang. So if you like mukbangs, let me know. We'll definitely do one, because it's something I've been thinking about doing for a while, actually. So because I do like to tell stories, and I do like to eat at the same time. So it'll be a good time. I promise.